Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Then this is our latest publication, along with the other one. We have a other video about 10 ways to gain peace of heart by Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr. This one here, Ahadith Ashra Dhul-Hijjah wa Ayam al-Tashriq wa Ahkam wa Adab. And then it also has Hadith Shahrullah al-Muharram. This is a hadith about Dhul-Hijjah and the days of Tashriq, the 3 days following the day of Eid, the rulings and manners of those days, as well as hadith about the month of Allah, al-Muharram, by Sheikh Abdullah ibn Salih al-Fawzan. And this book, if you're familiar with our previous publications, is a companion book to the book that we had about fasting. We have the designs being similar, right, to show that they're companion books. They're the same size, except the one on fasting is a bit thicker. This book, hadith about Dhul-Hijjah as well as hadith about Muharram, is 80 pages. It is 80 pages, or 79 pages, on premium paper, 2-color print, as always. And we like to vowelize any Arabic text that we have. Any Arabic text that we have, and put it in the book, we like to vowelize it. So here, this book was translated by myself, and if someone wants to order it, they can do so by sending us a WhatsApp message at 314-828-8060, country code 1. These books have been sent to the United Kingdom. They have been sent to Canada and Australia, and they should be there. Canada and UK reached yesterday the 6th, I believe, the 6th or the 7th of Dhul-Qa'dah, and the ones being sent to Nigeria will reach in about 2 or 3 months, since they're being sent by boat. Anyway, just going over quickly the table of contents so you can know what's in the book, inshallah. Then there's a biography of the author, and his introduction to the new print, right, and his original introduction. And then he sets this book up in a way that if you started reading it the last few days of Dhul-Qa'dah, then you could prepare the people for the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah. So, for example, you don't want it to be the first of Dhul-Hijjah and you read this book after Asr, for example, to the community or to your family, and now you're encouraging them to do good deeds during the first 10 days, whereas they've already missed the whole or most of the first day. So we set it up where you could start reading it before that, 1 or 2 days before, and give them an idea and encouragement to do good deeds. So 2 days before Dhul-Hijjah starts, he talks about the virtue of the 10 days and righteous actions in them. And then the last day before Dhul-Hijjah, the day before it starts, what must be avoided by the person who wants to slaughter. As we know, that if you're not making Hajj, it is encouraged, and some say obligatory, to slaughter a sacrifice on the day of Eid. And that we know that if you intend to slaughter, you should not cut your hair or trim your nails or peel off any skin if you intend to slaughter. And so he talks about that. So in case you intend to slaughter, you know the ruling before the first days start. Then on the first of Dhul-Hijjah, the obligation of Hajj and hastening to perform it. The second of Dhul-Hijjah, the virtue of Hajj and what characteristics are befitting for the one performing it to possess. The third, the virtue of the accepted Hajj and its descriptions. Fourth, an encouragement to sacrifice and clarifying its virtue. The fifth, mentioning some of the rulings of the sacrifice. The sixth, the blemishes of the sacrificial animal that prevent it from sufficing. The seventh, some issues connected to the sacrifice. The eighth, the virtue of fasting the day of Arafah. The ninth, regarding the religious practices on the day of Eid. And the 10th, the virtue of the days of Tashriq. So you can see here the logical progression, which he talks about things you need to know before the 10 days, then some general speech about Hajj in case you are going, and then when it gets closer to the day of Eid and you might want to start buying your animal and so forth, he starts talking about sacrificing, what you should be looking for in a sacrificial animal. And then he talks about before the day of Arafat, the virtue of fasting the day of Arafat. And then the day before the Eid, he talks about the practices of the Eid. And then on the Eid, he talks about the days of Tashriq, the 3 days following. Then you have about 20 days before Muharram starts, and he brings some narrations here, which you can read to the community or with your family, reflecting on the passing of days and years, because we know Muharram is the first month of the Islamic calendar, so that means another Islamic year has gone by. Not that he is saying to celebrate this at all, he talks against that. However, it is something to reflect upon, that there is a year gone and another year coming. Are we any better than we were last year at this time? So on and so forth. Then the urge to shorten one's hopes regarding this worldly life. Then he talks about the virtue of the month of Allah, al-Muharram, and the last 4 chapters about the day of Ashura. So the day of Ashura throughout history. What is the day of Ashura? The 10th of Muharram. What is it actually about? And then an encouragement to fast the day of Ashura, and the wisdom in fasting the day of Ashura, and the recommendation to fast the 9th along with the 10th. So this is a beneficial book, and in each chapter, I can guarantee in each chapter you'll find something that you were not aware of. The Sheikh Abdullah Fawzan, Hafidhullah, he likes to not bring something strange, but he likes to educate and not just follow the same pattern of whatever else has been written. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to write. So he likes to bring things that the average person may not be aware of, and he does so in every chapter here, and Allah knows best. And so this is the book. Again, if you'd like to order it, then you can do so at 314-828-8060. If you order this in bulk, 50 copies or more, then it is $2 a piece. If you order it by itself, then it's $5 plus shipping, and it gets cheaper and cheaper as you get more and more copies until you get to 50 or more. They're $2 a piece. This is one of those books that you can share with your community. You can share with your family and friends. You can talk to the local imam if you're not the imam and tell him, hey, this would be a good book for the community to go over during the month of Dhul-Hijjah and Muharram. And it's a nice addition to anyone's library, especially if they have the companion book on the hadith about fasting. Anyway, that's what we wanted to say today. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.